ancestors believed there were two things. Either you were the bad or the good. We believe in Mabuya and Manitou. Manitou is good and Mabuya is bad. So either there was no really good belief that you could follow both. You could follow either one or the other, and that is exactly what the Christian people brought into us as well. At the same time, while they brought this cross and tell us, they brought Christ and tell us to do things good, they were stealing from us. When he said that there were inhabitants already, that he could manipulate them, they were easy to be Christianized, they were easy to do anything. At the same time, he was telling you, well, you should not fight back. Don't fight back. And you must succumb to whatever I tell you to do. And that is why they call us savages, because we fought back.
The island of Dominica was a natural place for the Caribs to survive. Its wind-swept peaks and impenetrable rainforests sheltered the Caribs from centuries of European persecution. Today, Dominica remains home to the last stronghold of Caribs living in the Caribbean. They have survived, but only a few thousand remain. With their language and culture all but wiped out, Dominica's Caribs are just a small, voiceless minority living on a reservation at the fringe of Caribbean life.
My dream to build this canoe was when I was a young boy. Growing up, I figured out, well, maybe one day I'll do something to fight back. I really wanted to fight back. Then this idea came out to me that we should build a canoe and sail it back.
A voyage back to the Caribs' ancestral homeland in South America. But with no resources to make such a journey, Jacob's dream lived only in his paintings. In August of 1994, a new face came to the Carib Reserve. Aragon Dick Reed, an artist and student of tribal crafts, come to learn about the culture and history of the Caribs.
What's this white guy doing here? Who is this guy? I'm not naturally from here, as you can tell. I mean, my family stock is from Europe, from England. But I'm born in these parts, and I've chosen to live in these parts, and so I think it's important to find out the best ways to live in these parts.
I came up one day and met this little boy there walking down the road. I said, something stopped the truck, and I said, where is he going to? He said, Carib Territory. He said, that's where he wanted to go to, so he came up. He just came in and stopped talking, and I went there, just friends at the beginning, just first friends, you know.
Before long, Jacob's dream to build a canoe captured his new friend's imagination.
Like minds thinking alike, really. Jackie had in his mind a long time to be making canoes. His father made them, and he obviously wanted to make one too. And I had in my mind to make canoes from a different angle. I mean, just from growing up with my father's pictures of him in Africa and seeing canoes, and then from my studies, seeing the use of canoes in tribal societies.
The idea that I want to re-establish connection with my people, and the arrogant idea of building a canoe and sail it, that just coincides. We're not trying to prove anything. We're just repeating something to re-establish connections with our people.
To build their dream canoe, Jacob and Aragon appealed to a legendary master boat builder among the Caribs, known as Charlot. Under Charlot's leadership, a group of Caribs, along with visitors from 15 countries, venture into the hills over the Carib Reserve.
Stand by here. Okay, stand by. We're keeping going up.
To construct a vessel fit for the high seas, Charlot must guide the crew to a gommier tree of massive proportions, one that can only be found in the most remote part of the forest. The special tree chosen by Charlot is, by his estimate, twice as old as himself, 120 years, give or take a few.
I've gone to the different places and seen canoes being built. And Chalo takes pride in building his canoes, man. Chalo is an artist of his own taste, you know.
I always say Shallow he's the magician, you know. Every village has them. And when it comes to canoes, he's the master magician.
Following Charlot's lead, the crew will have to live and work for weeks in the bush to transform the fallen log.
We're not pretending to make a canoe from the 1490s. No way. I mean, the technique of canoe building is resilient, it's strong, it's overcome all the ages, it's overcome the other blinker-built boats that were introduced by Europeans.
A week's work has made the first dent in the log, a flat, exposed platform, ready for the next stage to begin.
When we are going to cut the outside, we have to leave a keel there. From there, go right through there.
As Charlot works, a technique passed down through the ages is revealed.
That's your line now, You have to learn it, SD.
Yeah, well, it's there. You have to learn to make it all with it.
Yeah.
That's first time I'm going to see somebody
Really?
chase about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too.
The inner stem of the palm frond has a natural arc that provides the shape for the boat's prow. Traced one way, then the reverse, it yields a shape of unmistakable symmetry. Weeks pass. The log seems unyielding.
I believe to me he's feeling weak. This is why he's taking a little rest.
Humor and resourcefulness will be the crew's only tools against the monotony and the daily challenges of bush life. It's difficult to imagine that the ancient Caribs did this with only fire and stone tools. But the gradual emergence of the canoe's shape inspires a much-needed rebirth of energy. The carved vessel weighs roughly 3 tons, and more than 2 miles of tangled forest now stand between her and the sea. The task might seem impossible, but a strong cooperative tradition will bring reinforcements from the Carib Reserve to help bring the canoe down.
Let's go. Again, we have a little problem because it got stuck between 2 trees. And that's giving us a little problem here at the moment. But I think we'll make it through.
Control in front of me. Come on, you far.
After 2 grueling days, the Pegua River at the forest's edge is a welcome sight.
It's like she could go to sea now.
So I believe.
You think so, huh?
Yeah.
So when she's ready, she's gonna be real strong.
For sure.
Do you think she could reach the Orinoco?
Yeah.
You coming with us?
Are you ready?
You captain?
Yeah.
Cool.
Celebration in the Carib Reserve, but work remains to be done. The canoe now enters the final phase of construction. First, she will be fired, a process using fire, rocks, and water to warp the wood and open the canoe outward. Over months, this will cause the canoe to grow more than 1 meter in width. Structural frames and a full-length plank on each side will give strength and added height to avoid swamping on the high seas. As work continues, Jacob and Aragon plot their course. The voyage will cover more than 800 miles, following the arc of the Windward Islands southward to the coast of South America.
The journey that we've got ahead of us, we've been calling it more of a symbolic journey, a gesture to reconnect the Carib people all the way down the islands back to Guyana.
If we have, we know there are groups in St. Vincent, there are groups in Dominica, there are groups in Trinidad, there are groups in South America that can bind themselves together as a group. We will have some voice.
To man the canoe, a crew must be chosen from among the Caribs. Sebastian Frederick, a Carib farmer from the village of Celebia, be one of 8 men and 2 women selected to join the expedition.
If you would fight Jakey at school, if you would have to fight Jakey at school, you would have to fight me. And if you have to fight me, you would have to fight Jakey. And that's how we grow together. So we always have good confidence in each other.
The seats are too low to row on. You're rowing to your head, you should be rowing to your belly. Strip in there to raise the seats up on.
have it.
One of the aspects that we're hoping to draw up about the whole voyage is the language issue. I mean, we have a copy of the Breton dictionary of the Carib language. It's a dictionary written by a French Jesuit that lived amongst the Caribs in the 1630s, 1640s. And he recorded as best he could the Carib language.
Nearly a year from the date of Charlot's first chop, the canoe is complete. 35 feet long, 6 feet wide, and 4 feet tall. She's called Glee, after a hawk revered by the Caribs as a totem of bravery. With costs of the voyage mounting, Jacob and Aragon struggle to raise funds. As Jacob gathers local crafts to be sold along the way, Aragon makes overtures to the international community.
Hello. Est-ce que c'est Jacques Bagel? Je m'excuse. Misread 3 for 5.
Money, food, equipment, medical supplies. Donations come, but the costs are formidable. For the first time, Jacob and Aragon face the prospect that the dream may be out of reach.
I should ask you actually, how much does that cost? Okay, very expensive. Okay, thanks for warning me. Bye.
A support boat, vital for the voyage, proves costly.
But it's just in our face, isn't it? Mud splat in our face.
Jacob and Aragon consider delaying the launch until more money can be raised.
If we can't, then we'll just take a wake tack.
Just hang out here in paradise.
Yeah, hang out here in Dominica.
It seems the hurricanes is getting closer every day.
The whole hurricane, that's what I'm watching.
At the 11th hour, they are saved by a dead man. Christopher Robinson was a 20th century friend and activist for the Caribs. Upon his death in 1989, he bequeathed Dominica's Caribs a sum of money intended to help restore their cultural heritage. With luck, a donation of £10,000 from the Robinson bequest is enough to ensure that we will launch.
We're pretty much excited. We're pretty much, into what we're doing. After all this 2 years of hard working, and it's done, and when we finish, and we're just ready for the journey, and we know it's going to be much harder. Being on the canoe, sailing down the island will be much harder than these 2 years of building it up anyway.
I don't worry, I just pray for him to go on his journey and to return. That's all.
Jacob's mother feels pride for her son, but hopes for his safety.
I know he'll make it by the power of the Almighty. He will make it. And I believe he will make it, and he will make it too.
Done the best we can as far as safety gear on board. We've got, 2 compasses, a full set of life harnesses, full set of life jackets. I mean, those kind of safety factors are the best you can do, but there are all kinds of other realities that could just wipe that to pieces in a minute.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Mary, Star of the Sea, pray for us. Repeat. Mary, Star of the Sea, pray for us.
Finally, the day arrives. News of the canoe has spread throughout the territory, piquing interest and awakening a long dormant sense of tribal pride.
Ladies and gentlemen, my ancestors traveled for many, many miles. We are going once again to travel these many miles from this beautiful land and from this beautiful shore to another land. Be careful! You will have to get my balance here.
To begin her journey, the Glee must face Atlantic waters before navigating the Caribbean Sea southward along the Windward Islands. Sailing behind the canoe will be the Carmela, a 120-foot schooner that will carry stores of food, equipment, and medical supplies, along with members of the support crew.
Glee, 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 Carmela.
The Glee enjoys her first successful crossing, 30 miles under strong winds to the French island of Martinique.
A few priority things that I think we've got to check on. Everybody, human safety. If there's anything on board this boat that is looking dangerous, somebody point it out, okay? And we're all got to watch out for our own lives.
We know it's not going to be a joyride. It's not going to be a joyride at all. It's really going to be a hard, long sail.
Push the back, push the back. Okay. All right, we're tacking now. Push it. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Did they get a big jump? Big fish. Such a one. We'll get them again.
With sunny skies and a good wind at their back, the Glee crew fails to notice a squall rising from the east.
Gotta batten down the hatches here, Charlie.
Glee, camera over. Glee, camera over. No.
With the Glee out of sight, panic spreads over the support boat crew.
I think you win hot, man. The man playing, man.
They can't bail.
If some of those people would get out of it, that's a start. That would be a start. They won't be able to bail that boat with all those people in it, you know.
What?
They can't bail the boat. It's a wash.
I know, I told them, but they didn't listen.
I don't see why they all want to stay in the damn thing.
The gust of wind just came in and we had no chance of shitting in, you know. We had no time to do anything, man. We knew definitely from the time the water we kind of went underneath the water, there wasn't enough weight to bring it back up. We were just going down slowly, just very quick anyway. But there was no panic. Everybody was safe.
Baptized by fire, the Glee presses on, making visits to island communities along her way.
I mean, it's an educational thing for all the other islands that we meet as well. I mean, for children in schools learning about Caribs, it's going to reawaken a lot of just knowledge and awareness. You know, I think that's the crucial thing.
The idea is to revive the culture, to make the world hear and make our governments in different territories hear that, okay, these people are alive and you should treat them better than how you're treating them. And regardless of what we do, unless we tell the people that, I mean, we are there, we face extinction.
Glee, Glee.
As the Glee continues south, word spreads throughout the Caribbean and beyond that these Caribs are on the move, no longer content to vanish into the pages of history. But meanwhile, aboard the canoe, 2 months traveling and the challenges of life at sea are beginning to take their toll.
Tell me. I don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything? We'll go in the front of the boat.
Tell me what to do.
Okay, I'll tell you to go in the front of the boat, please.
Right. Sorry, how to say. Just tell me and I do it.
Okay, do it.
Jake,
we can't have 2 of these lines on one cleat. We can't. We physically can't. Don't laugh at me, Jacob. I'm telling you the truth. That's how we've been sailing this canoe up to now. You want to laugh at my face?
Okay, Sabo. Sabo, la
With tensions mounting, the crew faces its greatest hurdle, a crossing of roughly 125 miles of open sea between Grenada and the island of Trinidad.
I told the Coast Guard that we're making our move, so they know. They saying it's 20, possibly 25 knot winds, so the wind is going to be strong.
What I should say?
Yeah, shall I?
Is the weather. The weather, you must watch the weather before you move. Yeah.
So, but if we can get up high, we'll use all that strength for our favor and get across quick. We'll be bailing a lot. We'll be sailing a lot, man. We'll be cranking.
The crossing will last more than 30 hours, over 2 days and through a night. With only the stars to guide them, the Glee crew will have to cross the powerful outflow of the Orinoco Delta.
Did you have any agreement with them about...
Every hour.
During the night, radio contact is lost, and the crew aboard the support boat can only hope for the safety of the Glee crew. But with the sun's first rays, fears are lifted as the Glee's familiar sail is sighted.
Oh!
9 miles off the coast of South America, the island of Trinidad was the Glee's last stop before crossing to the mainland. Here, the crew visits Trinidad's own surviving indigenous community, fellow descendants of a shared heritage.
Our community who have come to officially welcome you and your party to Arima. I think these trips, these contacts, serve to strengthen us as descendants of the Amerindian people.
Anytime you meet your own flesh and blood, there's blood is thicker than water. There's always the bond in there. And that's exactly what's happening there.
Because I tell myself, if you could make that journey from Dominica to come here, I could make that journey from here to the Red House in Border Street. And I would go down a day when they're having parliament.
As Jacob rebuilds ties with Trinidad's indigenous leaders, Aragon prepares the crew for a new chapter.
We have to basically transform the whole operation from being a sea operation to be ready to be a river operation. Weeds, mosquitoes, a whole different operation that we have to be ready for.
The Carmela is too large a vessel to move upriver, so the canoe will have to travel alone, with just a small second boat for support. With only a limited crew able to travel upriver, tensions arise that have been building over the weeks at sea.
If anybody have something to say, don't say nothing behind your back. Say plenty in front of you.
I think there should be something better organized on this boat before we leave here in Trinidad to go on the other side. Try to get things settled down that, you know, in the beginning it was all right, but right now it seems like something different.
The plan is, as if those that haven't heard it, is the first group that goes into the Orinoco River is going to be a much smaller group.
I want nobody to fool me. I want nobody to tell me I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Just tell me plain.
The river thing has to be really worked out. We're not going to be able to take everybody up the rivers. It seems like it's going to be difficult to get a third boat, just for the expense and just for the reality of it.
Chaos. Complete chaos. Well, I mean, I've watched lots of Jacques Cousteau movies and stuff on TV, you know, where they have all the nice new equipment and the Calypso and all these fancy new stuff and all the latest dive equipment. Or you can imagine the exact opposite of all that nice new stuff, you know. They're completely dysfunctional. Everybody always fights and nothing works and everything's breaking down constantly. But it's almost like it should be that way. It keeps us on our toes, you know. We're always alert.
Look it. Look it over there. Look it right there.
1 mile outside the Orinoco Delta, the Glee will separate from her support boat. As goodbyes are said, the crew to man the Glee up the rivers must finally be selected.
So we'll see you later. We'll see you in the Barima.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also got word you were losing one passenger, Aragon. Tell me what's the problem.
I can't believe your mentality that you think 5 minutes before we're going.
Listen, it's not my mentality, okay?
It is your mentality.
Somebody came up to me and said, pack my things.
No.
You are able to go.
It's unbelievable that you didn't think to come talk to me, and 5 minutes before we're leaving you say, hi, I'm coming.
I was just
No, I
talking
just
to you
can't believe it.
downstairs.
All this last 2 weeks you've been planning on flying to Guyana or getting down there ahead of us. Then you came to me and said you can't afford the tickets. I said stay on the Carmela, meet us in the Barima.
With tempers already frayed, a small last-minute dispute threatens to divide the crew.
I'm not going. I'm not going.
Now we did them to see what the river and everything.
Yeah, no.
The ice are going down.
I mean, who can go, but who can go?
Look Prince staying, look the woman staying, look Daddy staying.
I mean, Priya is really pretty sick. He can't go, he can't go.
Just get on board the boat, man. I'm just so sick of it. It's like a bunch of children, a lot of you.
I'm not going, I'm not going. Well, back, I talk and come and I talk and I finish talk. I don't talk again. It's one man, he doesn't go nowhere, I'm not going. Those people doesn't go, I doesn't go. They come to go, all of them.
What's wrong with you? Who do you want to come?
People them want to go saying that they doesn't go.
Now, what is this? Some kind of collective cowardice? What is this? This is some kind of unbelievable reality.
Let's work together. Let's work together.
Oh, yeah?
Anytime you hurt one, you hurt
No,
all.
I heard them.
About
And how about you hurting one me right now? You think
Nobody
on
cannot
that?
hurt more than one another.
You
One
think on
another.
that?
Everybody have to go. And that's all.
That's a fucking word to me for the rest of the time. Get in the road. Tell her she's coming now. Shall we go? We're going. The Orinoco's got one of the biggest outflows of water in the world of any river. We, funnily enough, choosing to go up against it. It's possible, but it's just hard. You know, we've got to be ready for some strong currents coming against us. But that's where I know the benefit of a canoe will be there on our side. You know, the canoe is designed for going up and down rivers and will overcome currents.
Battling upstream, the canoe and her support boat will face the new challenges of river travel. Alternately sailing, paddling, and motoring as conditions demand, they will cross eastern Venezuela before diverting to smaller arteries. The Moruca, Waini, Bulrima, and Pomeroon rivers, ancient routes once paddled by the ancestral Caribs as they first took to sea. As the Glee probes deeper into Guyana's interior, expectation and curiosity rise amongst the crew. Who will we find? What will they be like? What will they think of us? After more than 800 miles of sea and river, the canoe has reached her destination, the Carib settlement at Santa Monica on Guyana's Pomeroon River. For Jacob and his fellow travelers, first fears are met by a warm welcome from Guyana's Carib community.
The whole Glee and that Dominica warrior, Wakakaloko, enters the Glee from Dominica into our history. W-E-L-C-O-M-E. Welcome.
On behalf of the Guyanese Organization of Indigenous Peoples, it is with my greatest pleasure that I now extend to Mr. Jacob Frederick and his team warmest welcome to Kabakaburi.
Aragon!
The people feel so happy. I get a girl to marry. After the show they call me to meet the village captain. What the girl in the corner sings.
I wish they could never go back.
Wachili dashika, wachili dashika, wachili dashika, wachili dashika, and she chanting, ay ay ay, ay ay ay.
The festivities last a whole day and through the night.
I am indeed very happy. Here we have with us our fellow brothers from Dominica. Here we can meet as Caribs. Here we share our oneness.
Well, now the village council fixing the ceremony. I I say I got no money and I can't care nobody. But they said they were help me and they would give me money. But the girl is...
With the light of day, the real work of reunion begins. After centuries of separation, there's much catching up to do.
Every night we listening through the radio news how far the boat is. When we do hear that said that was the Black Caribs from Dominica, I think they were real Black Caribs. Some of the people get so afraid up here. Some they get frightened so that how they frighten black people sometimes they might eat them like cannibals.
Seeing them and seeing us are the same. And maybe they might or they might not accept us as Carib because we're mixed breed for sure. I mean, if you're bred Carib, then we are completely different. What I want to do is to meet with the people and tell them exactly how I feel and think things should work within our peoples. We live in the 20th century, we're not living in 14th century any longer in the 20th century, so we need to be modernized as well. That doesn't mean living our traditional culture. It just means tradition and culture can live side by side with modern technology. You can have your TV, you can have your engine, you can have your aeroplane. At the same time, you practice your culture and tradition.
Over many days, crafts are shared. Stories are told. And issues are addressed.
Sort of opposites. So the word for the word son is actually the word father. Yeah?
Of highest priority is the research into the Carib language.
And how do you call it?
If the language spoken today by Guyana's Caribs is the same as that recorded in Dominica in the 1600s, this will be proof of the tribe's shared heritage and a rallying cry to bring back the Carib language to Dominica.
We have grandma in North too.
Just establish that the Carib recorded in Dominica for the word son, like...
It is comparing.
It is comparing to Imulu.
The actual changeover from the sea to the river was one of the happiest ones for me. I mean, just the fact that the concept of the canoe came out of the river, went up to the island, and then comes back into the river.
Already got about the canoes. I mean, we ourselves has already sailed by land, by river, by sea. Just been sailing all around it, even by truck.
Already talking on the next trip, man.
Sure.
we named the canoes, we planned the route.
Before long, the Glee and her crew will return to Dominica, but with much achieved. It has been a homecoming 500 years in the making. As twilight falls, the Glee again fulfills her promise to bring Caribs together. This time as a ferry service, bearing the ancestral cousins safely to their homes along the river. But the Glee's work is far from done. Already, plans are underway to reintroduce the Carib language in Dominica's Carib school.
We were stuck in Jakey and I, but this idea of getting some kind of a little art school, an art centre together, a place, a centre that Caribs can teach Caribs craft, Caribs can teach outsiders craft, and vice versa all the way around, just make it a people place.
A second voyage is planned for the coming year. A mixed crew of Caribs from Dominica and Guyana will travel to Belize to reunite with the more than 50,000 Caribs living there.
What I'm doing is going to be helping them traditionally and culturally. My children are feeling somewhat proud, that I am able to do something. That they can stand up one day and say, okay, regardless of what is the outcome, but at least my dad did try.
live on the